Recently, there's been a debate around the young people, the millennials, and especially the Gen Zs about revolting for change. They're trying to agit for change and clamor for change. Maybe governors, they feel that things are not being done right. And what's your take about all that?
Well, the truth is, the facts, I think, are clear that about a year and a half ago, I think that is where I would want to engage my conversation from.
Okay.
I was on one of the media houses and I was making an argument, and I said, what I see, the data that I see, the facts that I see, and the way I'm analyzing my country, we have an excessively large number of young people who are highly educated. Most of them are extremely smart, who have sacrificed a lot of their time and energy. Many of them come from extremely poor homes. Then they have gotten an opportunity where now, because of social media, they are able to interact, to analyze, to interpret all the issues that are current or modern. And the feeling I had at that time, because I was commenting on the morning when there were about thousands of young men around KICC lining up for a job. And at the same time, I kept on seeing the government coming up with suggestions on some things that look like solutions, where there's no clarity of policy, where there's no clarity of intention, where there is no prioritization. You don't know what they feel is critical and important, what is not. And then all of a sudden I noticed that corruption had started increasing. The more we looked, the more you would see scandals. Because I sit in the SIPA committee at the Senate, the more we go into the modern books, because we are at 2023, 2024, some of the governors whom we thought, because they are coming in as new individuals, they will be prudent and they will be careful the way they use public funds. But I can tell you 80-90% of these guys are just business people. They don't give a damn about what is called public good. For them, being a governor is something that is supposed to give you access, contacts, and opportunities to make money for yourself, and if possible, become a multi-billionaire, because that is what they believe Kenyans respect. That is the attitude that has been around. And then I started talking about these things, and my feeling right now is that I actually don't have a choice, because I have sat, I've analyzed, and I've looked, because I have that capacity, what is happening to our country, and I've realized we're just cheating ourselves. We are lying to ourselves. The truth is, Kenya as a country is broken. Most people have been interpreting and making noise about how the country is the problem is. Even me at some point, I used to pronounce myself that way. We need to fix the politics. Yes, you need to fix the politics, because it is the politics that has generated the corruption that continues to entrench the politicians, who then continue using public money, who then continue getting more experienced, who then are capable of using propaganda and the media, and then they get elected irrespective of what their characteristics are, depending on looking at what their standing in society is. It does not matter whether he went to school or not. I mean, how can we be a people, and this is what astonishes me, how can we be a people who have been given an opportunity to pick 300 people out of amongst yourselves, and you have 55 million or 54, whatever the number, and then you are taking people who didn't even go to school, and some of them are the ones you're giving to be responsible, to manage your natural assets, to manage your stake, to manage your resources, to manage your economy. Of course, the president has a few experts, but I'm saying the responsibility of a member of parliament, he's the one who gives the president the legislation.
True.
So if you elect people who don't understand, who really should be blamed? So my feeling is we now must begin to educate each other. We must begin to tell the public the truth. And I've told people, these things I talk about, it's not because I want to be popular. I don't even want to listen to some of the things that people are saying, how they feel maybe I should run for president. That's not why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
If I was to run for president and people thought I was okay, I would accept that. But that is not the reason why I'm saying these things. Because my fear is that the system and the spot, the space we call Kenya, is no longer what people used to think it is. And we must come up with solutions on how we can fix what is broken. And I keep using this over and over and over because I want people to internalize it. The country's hardware is okay. If you live here, you go to Nakuru, the road is passable. If you get to Nakuru, most probably you will sleep in the town, there may be no crime. The town looks like it has electricity. I mean, the system looks like it is okay. Then I decided to go down into what I call what? My software. What does your software do? It gives you the basic parameters on how you are going to handle your horizontal coexistence, how you move from one community to the other, one region to the other, and how you are going to pick your vertical successions, which then, in other words, an ordinary child from a poor home, a person who was never advantaged, when this person is born in Kenya, what are the opportunities and what are the things we do to make sure that this person who was born from disadvantage has nearly as good an opportunity or an equal opportunity like the one who actually comes from an advantaged family. In other words, how do we remove the disadvantage, the tribalism? How do we remove the way we treat people with disability? How do we remove how we handle our poor people? How can we take a people who are known to be Kenyans and they're taxpayers and they go to church and they have children, they also have grandchildren, and we treat them with destitution? That when this person who also has grandchildren, who also has a family, one of their members falls sick and they can't be able to take them to a clinic or a hospital. Why? Because the government facilities that are supposed to provide such a service have all been bankrupted.
So in essence, you're saying that the politicians are the sort of the problem. I mean, because when you say that you elect people who haven't gone to school and you put them in charge of these resources and assets.
No, what I am saying is the politicians plus the other Kenyans. It's not only politicians who cause this problem. I can give you a very simple illustration from top to bottom. You can take at the national level. That is where the politicians are. You're the president, vice president, you come and you find that's where you get senators, your members of parliament, you come down. That's where you bring in your governors, their mini presidents, and the governors have got MCAs, and the system is supposed to run. What do? We have a constitution which tells us what to do. Isn't it?
True.
Then, instead of us having institutions which are supposed to implement what the expectation of the constitution is, we have then deliberately using the money ethic, using money within government, using money within the executive. That is why the executive is able to completely influence the legislature. And that is why you cannot find a member of parliament who can stand up, all right, except the few cases that have been seen, and say, no, we are passing a bad law. Let's not do this. This is not good for us. Because today it's going to harm me, tomorrow it will harm you. Because you never know which side. Look at the irony of our politics today. Look at where Gachagua is. Look at where William is. Look at where Uhuru is. Look at where Raila's gone. I mean, it's an incredible, shocking development. That is why, for me, it's even better to have a more independent judiciary, to make sure you have a legislature which is able to oversight the executive professionally, not personally. So when I criticize, I've told people, when I criticize the government, it is not between me and William Ruto. We have nothing personal. I actually respect the guy. I think he has done exceptionally well at his age and experience. But if the guy is not able to fix what I thought he would fix, I thought William was going to come in and be a very solid, a young person with an imaginative mind, who's going to unclog the Kenyan corruption structure, who's going to come in and look at our education sector, who's going to come and look at the health sector. Then he'll come and say, oh, some roads we are going to use concrete, others will use bitumen, and we are going to reduce the cost of constructing a road. Why do we spend 70 to 100 million shillings to do 1 kilometer of bitumen road in Kenya? And Rwanda spends 21 million. I mean, these are the things that bother me. And these are the issues that worry me. And this is why I keep saying, we as the ruling class, as the people who have had an opportunity, or people who have had the success of life, because there are people who are not advantaged, but they have become successful in this life. It should be our responsibility to be the one who are demanding and asking in this republic of ours for excellence, so that we are able to carry our children who are vulnerable. They go to school properly. If education, how many times did I hear William Ruto talk about how education is the best equalizer? I mean, every president has talked like that, other than Kibaki, who had given some free education. Look at where we are. That we are going to be a country that is in need of technocrats. We take a young man and train him as a doctor. Take him to school. He gets an A, and now we are telling that young man that for you to go and do medicine, you have to figure out either going to help, or if your father and mother are wealthy, or if you can get 1,500 of your relatives each to changa 200 shillings, so that this child then can go and do medicine, because the fee has become 1.5 million shillings a year. And what I'm saying, what happened to a country that understands that sometimes it's not about money, that you can take these young men and educate them for free? That is why I'm willing to allow my taxes to subsidize that, so that this child from a poor family, once he also finishes his medicine and he starts practicing, then he can give back to the community, because the community has been fairer to him.
True. That is true, So clearly corruption is a big problem for Kenya, not just since President Ruto came to office, but it's been anyway from
even before that. Yes.
True, So what do you think, because the problem is there, but what do you think is maybe the real problem? Not only the real problem, but the solution. What are the reforms that we need as a country?
Thank you.
To get out of this
Fantastic.
mess?
I've been being asked that question because I've really made a lot of noise, trumpeting what is wrong. The best thing you can do is, number one, take the international best practice. What have other countries that have had such challenges done? All right? By now, I would have expected the president to have made a task force of some of the most highly qualified, highly educated Kenyans who have specialized on matters finance. Then he would pick some of the best people who have been in the audit world, the Mr. Ouko. There's a gentleman I know who works for the World Bank, one of the most amazing Kenyan I've ever met. He's the person who started educating me. I can't mention his name because for his security. He's the one who started telling me how the system has deliberately been deconstructed mixed up, disorganized, simply because people are sharing the loot. I was shocked. That's why when you see a lot of people, when they will even see me talking to you this way, many people get shocked. What are you saying?
Yeah.
That is the truth. And what we are saying is, get these people. Get some of the best professors. There are people in this Republic of Kenya who are financial experts, who are macroeconomists. There are people who are microeconomists. There are people who can sit down, and all the president would have told them is, number one, I want us to make sure we have one single platform of how government money goes in and how it comes out.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yes.
If you don't have a platform on how your money goes in and how it's paid out, then what are you doing?
Okay.
Number two, go sector by sector. Let us look at the Ministry of Health. What is it? Why is it that our referral hospitals, their training and referral hospitals, all of them are riddled with tribalism, they are riddled with theft, you have favoritism? And why is it that Kenyans, when we work in our country and we're here, we don't want to be professional? And the reason for that, the system is broken. You have one side of teams, and these are the groups you hear they call cartels. There are groups of people who will go to Jomo Kenyatta, the university teaching and referral hospital, the recent one which was built, and you'll find that when people are being employed there are those cartels who will make sure fast. They say, these are ours.
Say my people.
These are my people.
Yeah.
And then you now go, when we are talking about meritocracy, because it's not there, then these ones who are now slowly supposed to balance, to show that this group is a generalized group and they're the same people, these ones now will spend money. They'll be paying at maybe 500K, a million shillings to get a letter to work there. How is a child of a poor person who has got a first-class honors, who does not have an uncle in parliament or an uncle who works at central bank or an uncle who is a doctor or a teacher? How does that child move from that position where they are and they have got an A to the position where that because they are the best qualified, they can actually walk to a ministry which has advertised for work, and they do an interview, and if they are as good as they say they are, all that happens is for those kids to be taken and they serve the country. All right? So matters related to HR, every single department of this republic has something to do with its HR. Why? Because we have not perfected and simulated the platform on HR in the Republic of Kenya. You can't say how many government employees do you have. The only people who need protection from the public knowing that number is the military. But everybody, yes, we should know the number of our police officers, our teachers, our nursery school teachers, our community health workers. We should have those numbers at our fingertips. But go and try and ask for those numbers. Why? Because that is where every little team takes these numbers and plays with them with the audit books. And pays individuals, including individuals who have already been given IDs which are fake. And that is why you can't fix the problem on how Kenyans get IDs and passports, because those facilities, having a passport or an ID, has become an item of enrichment. Even an ID, a passport, I know, yes. An ID, there are people today who will take 2,000, 3,000 IDs and create those names and will create a fake company which is supposed to pay certain allowances, even money for the NGOs. I know you're looking at me as if I'm saying something crazy. That's not it. Hello? Kenya is the only country where you can have 5 IDs which have got 5 different pictures of 5 different people, but the name is the same. The area where the guy is one. Oh. Why are you looking shocked? That's your country. Where did I get it from? Tell me. If I got it, then I must be damn smart. Because I've got it. So you're sure it's happening? What do you mean I'm sure it's happening? There are people whose IDs are being used, and human resource departments are they receive those names. Names are backdated. These people, in fact, have never retired. And in a period of about 10 years, you find these are the names which were cashing out money as this person who was supposed to have retired now gets to 60. So those names at 60 are offloaded and they bring another. I mean, it's a system that is designed right now to fail, and it is a system that has been deconstructed deliberately, and nobody talks about it. I can run through Kera what happens to our roads, how money is allocated. I can tell you how briefcase companies are given such roads. I can tell you how some members of parliament are given 40 roads, 50 roads. Each road is 8 million. It is okay, yes, you are helping yourself, and indeed you could even be helping your constituency. But why should you be given 80 roads and another area has only been given 10?
Yeah.
What is it that makes you special? Is that a country that we want? Do I want, and this is what I'm struggling with, and this is what I'm trying to tell my fellow Kenyans.
Yeah.
Do we want a country where we deliberately agree that the winner is going to take it all, that if you are successful in succeeding in your endeavors, if you are able to not even attend classrooms if you are in the university, but you can pay so that the lecturer and the professor gives you a degree, which is a first-class honors, and this child most probably is studying medicine and is going to be the person who operates at theater. So pray, you are the father, this guy who you have been bribing for him to get a medical degree, on the day when you are under anesthesia, is the one who's told operate on this museum. Those are the things that we worry about. Do we need a country where if a child has graduated, and I've said this severally, from a school or from a college or from the military, whatever, why can't we be a good country? Those who graduated a long time ago, you deal with them until when you come to current. That is what good countries do.
I think about the TSC, because I hear that's what that problem is usually.
TSC, the questions are so beyond comprehension, but I will use one. Yes, it is TSC that we have been talking about that we don't even know. The other day the government said they employed 45,000 teachers. How many counties do we have?
47.
47. Why was it difficult for the government not to look at these 45,000 people that they want to employ, and they say, since we have 47 counties, first let us rationalize how many does every county get? In my county of Kisii, I would have gotten 800 people. We have in that county 9 sub-counties. If you give me 800 people to employ as teachers, for all the 9 sub-counties, all we'll have to do is allow each one to have 70, 70, 70 until we finish the 9. Or 80, whatever the number. Are you trying to tell me that if you employ 80 people in one sub-county, which is a constituency, nobody will notice?
Of course people will.
So why don't I have 1,000 people being employed in my county in Kisii? What happened to their entitlement? Because to be fair, the government was employing 45,000 teachers.
True.
And we are Kenyans, and every county deserves, and indeed a sub-county, and indeed a ward. That's how you govern people. That is how you earn your legitimacy. That's how these people respect you. That's how they realize that on the horizontal, on the vertical ladder, as he's trying to build himself, he realizes that this society is fair to me. They can lift me. They can carry me. So somebody now agrees, yes, now we are together. But now, tell me what is happening.
That's interesting. And by the way, when you see this, the Gen Zs demonstrate, whatever issues they are talking about, it's among the nerve center of their reason for protesting. Do you think that it's just because this thing, the Gen Z protest started as an anti-finance bill protest, but it's morphed into so many other media of things about governance. Do you think the issues that have been happening, they've been watching, and maybe it's time they just got tired? And
I'll tell you this. In my life, and I'm 60 years old.
Yeah.
I would never have requested and demanded to be in a situation like where we are in today in Kenya. Because I'm reliving my past life.
Yeah.
I'm seeing in 1982 when we were students at the University of Nairobi and we said Moi must go, Moi must. It was not even about Moi. No, the system was wrong. We were going the wrong direction. We were accepting capitalism at such a high level that people who were in office, political offices, were forming oligarchs to control resources which are state resources. That is how some of these individuals ended up owning acres of millions and millions of land. That is how some of them have been mining Kenyan resources and nobody asks them. So what the millennials have done is to look at us as their fathers and mothers and as their uncles and whatever and as their grandfathers, and they are saying, "Nyo, nyo, 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 nyo. You messed it up.
Yes.
You don't have a country that anybody is going to rely on.
Yeah.
You have got some kakamemi, mixed up, tribally based, kleptomaniac, financially driven, sort of I feel good and can't you see what I have, and if you die so be it." It's that's where our leadership is. And I'm like, do these people understand that this thing you call Kenya has its honors?
Yes.
And the honors are some of these children that are running around here and they are saying, we want good governance. We don't want police brutality. We want to have good drinking water at our homes. We want an education that is affordable. If you can't give me a company that can give me a job in my country that I love, don't again punish me by asking me to give you money, then you take my money and I've sold my father's land so that I bring you money for you to give me an opportunity to go and look for a job out of the country. What is wrong with you? Because I can kill you. Because that's painful. You understand? These people, the young men are saying, this is so painful. Boss, you know, I used an example. I said, many of us are fortunate. We do our thing. We drive our big cars around here. We live in these beautiful things looking at here. There are people in these informal settlements where you have a mother, a father, they share with 6 children. They share a house which is 2 rooms. That's where they sleep, that's where they eat, that's where they engage, that's where they talk. And you expect them to be normal. And yet all you need to do is take state resources, look for land which exists in hundreds and thousands of acres, which all of us, the rich fools, are now grabbing and taking because we think we'll go with it to heaven. Can you imagine how it would feel if these people who are struggling with the informal sector had free education, they had free health, housing was really, really subsidized by the government, where a family can buy an apartment for 40 years, where the family pays 5 or 3K a month? Surely, you can do that with 4 trillion shillings. You can't build houses for poor people with 4 trillion shillings. First, fix the corruption. Create fairness and equity. Provide the basic necessities. Any country wants affordable food, wants health care, wants housing. Then the other idiot things you can talk about. Those are very simple things which can be done. Like I've said before, the policy will be there. We are now going to give Kenyan farmers subsidies so that then our fertilizer is cheaper, then they are going to produce. The farmers will go, they produce 46 million bags of maize. Guess what happens? They don't know where they'll take that maize.
Why? Because
National Cereals and Produce Board, they have only been able to buy about 5 or 6 million bags. Farmers still have 36 something million bags in the stores, which could start ending up bad. Did you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
In other words, and then you find it is as the politicians who will then again want to go and buy that maize from the farmers out there, push the prices down because we have refused to create a market for them.
Yes.
And then you come and buy that maize when it's now at even 2,400 shillings, where the farmer says, let me cut my losses and offload.
Yes.
And these guys, then you find they go and sell it at 4,400, 5,000 bob.
Yeah.
Why? Because there isn't a government that is sitting to come up with solutions.
Yeah.
Anybody who sees National Cereals and Produce Board, who is from government, who is chairman of the board and members of the boards of those guys, they do not understand how they affect the lives of the ordinary people. What they sit and calculate, because we have friends who work there and they tell us, it is the deals, who's going to supply the gunny bags, who is, if you get this maize, which manager in which depot is going to actually say that he is not collecting any more maize, so that the people who are lining up in a certain area and they want to take their maize to the NCPB, they don't. Immediately, the price comes down by 1,000.
So
then after 2 days, you find this guy saying, now bring the maize. You see? Ini system ya majambazi ni kila kitu kama ni cereals and produce. I've not had very many negative stories from where there was a time where I used to be in the media, where I need to take one of my friends who's there to tell me how they are managing every single project we touch and agenda we want to have. We set up a government program for it, we allocate the money, then we eat the money, and then we collapse that project. And the Auditor General comes and says, look at what these people have done. They have eaten the money. And everybody's like, really? They ate the money?
But already the harm is been done.
No, somebody then says, why hasn't EACC picked them? Even this year, kuna story hapo bana. Huyu ni kelele mdomo tu achapa mdomo.
So, but do you think that the EACC could be an enabler, directly or by proxy?
There isn't a political will to allow EACC to do its job.
So it's a toothless dog.
It is basically an outfit again, which consumes public resources, which I get so angry talking about them because I see the damage that our country is going through. I don't think it was designed to succeed. So again, I vindicate them, because if the system is designed to fail, are you getting me?
Yes, I do.
I then cannot blame you, because the system is not supposed to succeed. No.
Wow. Moving on swiftly, as we shift kidogo to the most recent developments about the ODM joining the government. But just before that, how do you think this the momentum of the young people protesting about good governance will be sustained?
That's a very good question. I don't want to say yes and no, but I want to say this. How I pray that these young men and women stay the course. Right now, they might be unstable. They may look like ODM has sold them out. They feel like, oh my God, what is this? This story was not about ODM. Neither was this story, as I always say, it was not about even what Ruto is doing right now. This is a story that has accumulated over a period of time. These children are 20, 25. So we are talking about a story of which year?
2000.
2000.
True.
2000 is yesterday. I can remember where I was 2001. And what these kids have realized is that they have one of the most beautiful countries in the world, which has got incredible weather, which has got tons and tons of minerals, which has got natural resources including oil, which the elite and the ruling class has sat around and they have been sharing those resources quietly. As the parents of the Gen Zs are ashamed because they can't access the table. So the Gen Zs have come up and you know what they've said? You ain't gonna eat that stuff alone. We're gonna share it out. You ain't gonna eat it. If you mess up that food, I'm gonna poop on the table where that food is. That is, I hope President William Ruto understands what I'm saying. These kids are gonna poop on the food.
Share the way.
So what you do, get that food, get fufu, mix it with okra, like the West Africans say. We share toto, little. Everybody say, this thing is okay now.
Yes, yes.
But you eat alone. We poo-poo on the fufu.
Yeah.
What you talk? We poo-poo on the food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wataribu.
This is the issue. We must be a country that is willing to share its resources with its people. There is no any other issue about that. No. That's why we write our laws on bequestment of assets and liability. You share your things with the children. If you do it unfairly, the court tells you you are unfair.
Yeah. Or they'll fight.
So how can somebody tell me that this food called Kenya we can't share?
Wow.
Are you mad?
Okay.
Speaking, let me tell you this. The decision on who went to the cabinet, for me, it doesn't bother me. No, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me, how did they go there? Are we going to change what has been happening in government because you have joined government now? Are you going to stop the corruption? I want John Bandi to stand up in the next 2-3 months and sit with me in my budget committee and say, we have agreed. We now want to give Kenyans free education from primary up to university. Let us sit down. Give us what your proposals are. That's what I want to see John Bandi do. If it means we are supposed to make sure that we invigorate, that we give them the technology, give them personnel, make sure that, if you don't have deterrence against corruption, everybody will become a thief. That is why we have laws, penal code. There are laws which even tell people you can't enter parliament because that will be trespassing. There's a reason why. So my point is, either adults in the room or intelligent people, somebody like David Ndii, who a lot of people hate, I believe the man is an exceptional man. I realized and learned from him that let us begin to tell each other the truth. Every time David Ndii told guys, but you are the ones who elected all these people who are corrupt and they are stealing from you. People would attack Ndii. But Ndii is telling you that the people you elected are thieves. How can you attack him? He's risking his life. Do you see the reverse psychology Wakenya wamechezwa? That when we are telling people that these guys are actually taking your things, we are being blamed that why are you telling us so? Why are you blaming me? Go and check and see whether it's true.
Okay. So actually in the last 2 or 3 days, Kenyans have been all over saying the political class have now come together to crush the dreams and the aspirations of these young people, and essentially to stop the demos so that they can loot in peace. So do you think that is true? Like, do you think that whatever has happened
I will tell you this. For me, and I say this because it is something I went through emotionally at a personal level. I asked myself, how would I actually react if somebody appointed me to be a minister? The first 1 to 2 hours when I was indulging in that crazy thought, I was like, I'll take it. After all, Kenya anyway is like this. As days kept moving and I kept listening and checking out what people are saying, that statement I made, I'll take it, began to sound like there was something wrong with it. So when I asked one of my very close friends that I always engage with, he told me, that job you could have taken if you want to retire from politics. Nobody would completely blame you. So he told me, even me, I don't blame Mzee Raila, who I've supported for 30 or 40 years. And I don't blame Ruto because Ruto didn't have any choice. He had to bring Raila to stabilize his government. But the guy told me, I hope both of them understand that thing they have done, if they don't sit and agree that they are going to fix Kenya, they'll be shocked what Kenyans are going to do next. In the coming elections, they will be shocked. Completely shocked. Because now you have a population of about 20 million of young people who are waiting like this. And 700 days, I don't think they would have forgotten what has happened.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either the president and Mzee Raila, that is if, as he says, he has joined government or his team has joined government, I hope that they will begin to reconstruct what has been deconstructed. They'll start building what the guardrails, the defense mechanisms we have had to take care of our resources, take care of good governance, protect Kenyans of all ways, provide equity and fairness, all those things. We must go back there.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So we've seen already the ripple effects of these for members of the ODM joining the government of Kenya Kwanza. NAC give a notice of pulling out of the Azimio. So do you think the Azimio will hold?
My honest opinion is that Azimio has already collapsed, and I would want, this is my honest opinion, my personal opinion, all right? And it may not matter as far as ODM is concerned. I would want to make a suggestion that now, because ODM has joined government, let us hand over the opposition to Wiper. Me, I will work with Wiper because I'll remain in the opposition. I don't have any reason to not work with Wiper because after all, we have been in the opposition. If our team members are going to join the government, that is a call they made. That is their personal decision. I think maybe the party leader gave them an okay. Maybe some people say he didn't. My honest observation is we want to fight in the establishment of structures, democratic, financial, and or otherwise, which are self-sustaining, which cannot be manipulated, which cannot be changed because of political expediency. So that you will know. That will be on the legislature, that will be in the judiciary, that will be in the presidency. We want good people to manage our country so that Kenyans are good people who will manage themselves. Yes. Okay.
Well, great. Now, as we come close to the end, I think the last demos that we had, Kenyans wanted to, the young wanted to march to the JKIA. And around that time, your name popped out so much because they were saying you sort of brought this issue to the limelight about
about the Adani.
Could you tell us about that?
It's an amazing story. A Kenyan young man had been struggling with this story because he lives outside the country. He had found documents on this company that is trying to lease our airports, not even JKIA, all the airports in Kenya. And there is an amount of money that has exchanged hands, and this money is being shared amongst people in government. And the agreement which is being signed is that they will run the airport. Nothing is mentioned about which revenue they are going to collect.
I saw media reports say that they take 18% annually.
Wait now. Okay. Nobody says. That is not where the ukora is. Nobody says how the money is going to be paid. The reason is very simple. You can reach halfway through and change it from the amount of money you are giving. So initially they said, no, whatever we collect, we are going to take the 18%. So let us agree first that the 18% is going to be there. But the question is, 18% of what? Okay, number two, that 18% they want to take is not the revenue that they will be collecting. That is after they have run these airports for 30 years. Adani cannot now hand over this thing to the Kenyan government. Okay. They will have to either buy themselves out at the value of 18%, or they keep this value of 18% eternally for the next 1 million years if Kenya is going to be in this world for 1 million years. All right. Then we got a report. Adani is a crooked company which has been doing business in Australia. They've been taken to court.
I saw, in 2023 they were.
They've been having these shady transactions, and I've got very many Kenyans, and I want to really, really thank you. Some of them of Indian Indian lineage.
Yes.
And because they have been my friends before, they have really been giving me so much information. Like this morning, somebody told me that now the same Adani company has already signed an agreement, or is in the process of signing an agreement of taking over all the work that Ketraco has been doing. All right. Then once they finish with Ketraco, they want to then invade and take over the management of KenGen. Once they are finished to run on the management of KenGen, the company which is associated with them is the one which we are supposed to give our software to control the traffic system in the Republic. Are we mad?
So who's this Adani? I mean, because clearly, if what you're saying is true, then they essentially want to take care of. Let me put it this way.
Yeah. Adani is a typical case of the scenario where Kenya has been. Adani is the Kamlesh Patni. Adani is the guy of Triton. Adani, Kenya has always had these individuals who come up with these schemes of wash, and they sweep the country into billions, and they take off, and the story ends there, and people start again.
Yeah.
So this is another formed arrangement of a team of cartels whose agenda is to pick the prime resources. You remember at one time there was a story about KICC being leased, and many of our hotels and many of our things. We don't even know whether right now they are actually into the process of mining our minerals. We don't know whether they are taking our uranium. We don't know whether they are involved in our gold. Shouldn't Kenyans know?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.